very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Lillian Muli, and it's time for Fashion Watch. Every Saturday right here on Citizen TV, the Fashion Watch panel critiques the latest local and international trends. Of course, we invite you to send in your feedback and style-related questions using the hashtag Fashion Watch or SMS us using 22422. Our Fashion Watch panel every Saturday in studio right here on Citizen TV. Ian Mbugua, he is a celebrity thespian, and he will be looking at this week's trends. That is Ian Mbugua. Also with us is Carol Odero, who is a celebrated award-winning fashion journalist, with us in studio every Saturday right here on the Fashion Watch. With us as well is Robert Burale, who is an image consultant and a motivational speaker. That is Bob, with us every Saturday right here on Fashion Watch. And tonight our guest panelist, Kweku Bediako. He of Chocolate by Kweku Bediako. He is a Ghanaian fashion brand that draws inspiration from the rich Ghanaian lifestyle, taste and preferences. Kweku is with us in studio this evening, and we will be looking at his designs as well. Let's begin with what's been happening in the week that was, and we want to start with Brad's fashion show. This is an event that went down in the week that was, and let's take a look at who was there and what they wore. All right, here we go. So in recent weeks, we've been talking about the bow tie and the custom-made tags, and I want to talk about this gentleman here who has an interesting interpretation to what he has on his neck with his tags. I want to start with you, Carol. What's going on there? What is this tag? Because it's not what we ordinarily have seen here. Not the bow tie, not the slim tie. What is that look?
Well, I think he's just trying to put his own spin on a tuxedo, something different and unique and interesting. And it was also a fashion event, so he's allowed to. At a fashion event, you're allowed to break the rules. And the dress code for men was, I think, a black suit. Yeah. I'm not sure about his shoes. I'm not feeling them. I think he should have gone with moccasin or something more elegant. This is a little too high school. Yeah, it's the only thing that does not work with his look. Okay, and Ian, I know you're in performing arts, and this reminds me of Oliver Twist. I don't know, like, this reminds me of one of those really unconventional. I just don't get this look. This is not something I've seen before, but maybe it's something that's trending right now. Maybe it's trendy. I don't know. What do you think? Do you like it?
And I'm sure that very soon we'll find other people trying to do that.
So do you like it?
It's okay. It's different. It's okay.
Okay.
You're not impressed? No, not really.
So, Bob, I noticed that he has that little brooch, or I don't know what it is that he has going on in the middle. That's probably what's keeping that together that way. This look, is this daring to be different? Is this fashionable? What is this look?
I know people want to dare to be different, but you also have to remain within the norms of acceptance, because it doesn't look good at all. The jacket fits well. The shoes totally from full leather kind of shoes. Trouser doesn't fit well. The coat fits, the jacket fits very well. But he's tried too hard to be different that he's now looking like a clown. And you rightly said, Oliver Twist. I don't think he should have just gone with the nice bow tie, and the kind of shoes he should have had is moccasins. But I tell people time and time again, I wish he went for the wet look kind of shoes. It completes the look.
Kweku is our celebrity fashion panelist tonight. And, you know, you West African brothers really bring it on the red carpet. So I want to hear from you, your thoughts on this look. Maybe we're being unfair. We're a bit more conservative here in Kenya. What do you think about this look?
Well, so good evening to your viewers. I'm enjoying Kenya, I must say. And, okay, so about the tie, I think it's different. Honestly, truly, this is very, very different. I mean, you will hardly ever go to any show or any event in Ghana or Nigeria. They will say like a black tie event, and you see something like this. I like it. I like from the base, from the center to the top. I love the bow tie. Okay. My problem is with the cut of the pants. You know, and I keep on telling clients, I keep on telling people, you can't have two in one. You can't have a tapered pants that go all the way to the edge of your shoes. You know, it becomes tacky at the base. The cut is not right. So I'll definitely commend him for looking different with a tie and then having a very nice cut jacket. But my problem is with the cut of the pants. He should have kept it tapered, maybe around the ankle, or probably do a straight cut all the way to the base.
So that little ruffle that he has going on there is...
That's my only. Oh, he's a nice guy. I'm sure. I'm sure he's.
Oh, you're nice. These guys hardly make apologies for what they say. So let's proceed, and please let us know what you think. So this is again the same event, and this, you know, Kenyan girls here with the maxi, and. Wow, okay. I want to start with you, Ian, and let's begin with the red, and then you can talk about the... First of all, let's just talk about who wore it better. What do you think? Between the red and the white, and if you think somebody wore it better, why? And if you think it's a total mess, why?
I like the red. I don't know why, but I like red.
Because it's red and you're a guy.
It's red and I'm a guy. It's probably in me. But I like the red. I don't like the huge bag. I don't like the huge bag. No accessories per se. I think the red did it better than the white.
The red did it better than the white. Bob, what are you thinking?
I think both did it very well. Red and white stand out. Red says I'm a very confident person. I like it's not too big and not too many accessories trying to compete with each other. Red on its own stands out. For me, when I see someone dressed in white, that's a person who is careful, especially during the functions, because you can spill anything on your white outfit. So it's a highly hygienic person, and I love the fact that they've dressed their body well. I just wish they had smaller bags.
Okay, so let's move away from the red, Carol, and I want to draw your attention to the white, because if you look closely, you will notice that the girl in white has a black sort of peekaboo effect.
I was just about jumping into that.
Why you
I just couldn't hold it.
I don't think this dress is supposed to have that, whatever it is that she has in, whether it's
an elastic band.
It's an elastic band, whatever is going on there is not supposed to be there. What do you think?
It's a bra.
So you're a designer. Do you think this dress is supposed to have that black?
You see, in fact, let's start from the top. Okay. So with the red dress is just okay. I think that she could have added a bit of maybe a nice gold chain or some chain or some accessories, a watch, whatever. But she's safe. My problem is with the white. Her hair is not right. It starts from the hair. I mean, have a look at the hair. Did she wash it? Like I'm just being very candid here. You know, I think that to be fashionable is the fall from the top to the base. You can't be spiffy at the top and have bad shoes. You know, you can't be spiffy from the base and have bad hair. I feel that the hair doesn't complement her looks. And the bra or an elastic, whatever you call it, what is the role there? Is it design? Maybe they could have added a bit of Swarovski stones at the center. You know, to sort of take
but you know, I suppose,
off it.
and you know, the fact that our attention has even been drawn there means that's not supposed to be happening. But Carol, I know you've talked previously about the tape that can hold your babies, because that dress clearly is not supposed to have that black thingy going on there. So whatever it is, I think was an issue with her undergarment and what ideally you should wear if you want to wear a dress like that. So what should she have worn to pull that look off appropriately?
She probably should not have worn this dress. What I think that the black band is a safety precaution to hold it together so it doesn't open. And the thing is, it looks like an afterthought because the rest of the dress is white. If you're going to have a black band, then make sure that it picks up something out of the dress, but there's nothing about the band that is symmetrical with the dress. There is no black belt, there is nothing about the look that makes you understand why it's there. Well, probably that. So if you're going to wear a dress like that, then either you go full throttle on the cleavage, or you find something safer that works with you and you don't have to put the black band on it. I think it kills the look for her.
And then on the red carpet internationally, we do see girls that pull this look off. They're not necessarily smaller bust size-wise, but somehow they...
It's how the dress is designed and how you put it on with the underwear. Whatever you use to, you know, prop up the babies.
There are cups that are fixed in their outfits.
Yes, it's part of the dress.
Hold the boobs in place. You know, for me, if it's an afterthought, then I would then wish that maybe she had, as I said it, you know, as a joke, but really, she could have then put some, you know, some crystals at the center to sort of make it look like it's part of the dress. You know, but it's from the hair to the black. Sorry.
Okay, total fail from the panel. This is not working. Here we have this girl, same event, but then she dared to be different. At least this is different from what we just saw. And there's a bit of African in this. So let's start with you, Bob. And the thing, and Kweku, I mean, well, not to excuse our red carpet here, but then we've talked about this previously on the show, the fact that people really don't seem to be coordinated, that you don't seem to get, if it's black tie, not everybody will be in black tie. You'll get some people in African theme, you'll get, like Kenyans just really sort of just do what they want to do.
I love that.
Let's start with you,
let me answer that later.
All right. Of course, we have accepted that we never get it right.
Oh, these are pants, and yes. Okay.
Now, it's well-fitting, but for me, it's a bit too busy. If this girl walked very fast, you'd think something is on fire. I wish she'd have just gone more plain, maybe a lot of black and another color, but not trying to compete with the black. I think it's a bit too busy for the kind of event that it was. It would look good in another event, but I think she'd have gone more of the black and a bit of something else just to bring out the light in it.
But then, Ian, this girl seems to have actually planned to wear this for this event, so that effort, do you want to give her?
Clearly she did, because she's even matched the shoes. But the top is, I've got a question about the top. It's got two bits. It's got the midriff where the belly button is, and then just above it there's also a peekaboo sort of thing. So there's a bit of confusion there.
So Carol, yeah, it's she seems to have a crop top thing going on, and then a coat, an overcoat, and then the high waist pants. Do you think this is too busy? Does it work for you?
I actually love this design. I think it's broken into 4 different pieces: the crop top, the pants, then the cloak, and then the belt. I think she was using the belt to camouflage too much skin. But the thing about this look is that the fabric is a little too busy. So if you want to wear a design like this, you need to break it down so that people can see the actual design and the beauty of the design, not just the fabric in and of itself. And again, Kenyan women, when you're going on the red carpet, please pay attention to your hair and to your makeup. It is very, very important. A red carpet event is about head to toe look and the symmetry and the beauty of it. I think that we just, it's disappointing when you don't fix your hair.
Quite cool. For you, this design total fail, or is it working for you?
I love the idea. I'll start with Carol. I love the idea. I think there was an effort put in there. My problem is with finishing. We need to pay attention to finishing.
Tell us about the finishing, actually. Yeah.
Is that a zip showing?
It's part of the design.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we very sure?
Actually, it looks like the zip to me. I would agree, yes.
It looks like the zip.
But it's not the zip, actually.
It should not have been.
Are you sure? Because you see, have a look at it. It's not a band for you to say that maybe they cut a part of the fabric out. You can clearly see that there's a band and then there's a zip.
No, it's not a zip.
It's not a zip.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Let's just say it's not a zip. I love the idea.
But the fact that it even draws your attention to the fact that it's there. Yes.
It's worrying.
Yeah.
And you know, I have a little bit of an issue when people try and match a busy pattern with the same caliber of shoes. No. I don't like the orange, white, black patches with orange shoes. No. No.
What
You see, you
would
need
have
to
worked
dare
better?
lemon green.
Or blue.
Or blue. Teal. You know? Because you see, black is very dull. Now, it's either you go with a black and white, and we know that you're trying to be classy. But once you have orange in there, it means that, okay, you came to play ball. So then you need to distract the whole pattern in there with some shoes that doesn't even look like.
But in the defense of our East African brothers and sisters, they're saying you West Africans are extremely bold and eccentric, and we're not necessarily out there.
Don't get me wrong. Listen, I love the idea that went into it. All I'm just saying is, you know, you made a comment about always trying to go according to some how do I call it?
The conventional.
It's very matchy-matchy.
I would never wear a black suit to a black tie event. I don't think I've ever done that.
You would
and
wear.
Every single time I stand out. You know, I'm sorry, I don't think that's a West African thing. I just think it's a mindset thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love the idea though. I think
it's just too matchy-matchy.
Even the choice of fabric maybe
Well, yeah, I wish Annabelle Onyango was here because she always says, lose the machi thing.
Yeah.
Yes, Annabelle Onyango.
I hope that's not a zip.
Yeah, that better not be a zip. Okay, so Madonna, pop icon Madonna, was in the country, and there she is with First Lady Margaret Kenyatta in support of the Beyond Zero campaign. And I know a lot of you, have been out on social media, a bit concerned about some of the comments she's been making. Octopizzo, our celebrity here, not too happy with some of the comments she made about Kibera. But anyway, welcome to Kenya, Madonna. We are so happy to host you in our beautiful country. A lot of people are not happy about this frock, that's what they called it, on Madonna. She's a diva. She is fashion forward, and a lot of people felt like this was a bit, in Kenyan speak, madesh, which is a bit old. Let me start with you, Carol. But then again, she's in her late 50s.
Yes. She's 57.
Yes.
But then, what's interesting about this picture is that it's the First Lady who's wearing red and animal print, and then Madonna is wearing the frock. Ideally speaking, you would think it would be
the other
way round, because she's the one. This woman has written a book called Sex for the Love of God. So it's very not like her. She's a feminist icon. She's a style chameleon. She constantly reinvents herself. Academics literally study Madonna, just as to understand what impact she has had on the style and fashion industry. So this look is very odd. I wouldn't even say that it's safe. It's just very odd. It's strange. It's the kind of outfit you would expect a young girl to wear. So it creates the impression that she's still in that stage where everybody's accusing her of trying to look younger than she actually is as an older woman.
So for you, it's younger and not older?
No, the dress, the print itself, the design, the flowers, the floral thing, that's a very little girl dress. So it's just, the design of the dress doesn't do her any justice. Everything about the dress does not work on her.
Yeah, and Bob, if you were to pick who wore it better between our First Lady and the visiting pop icon?
Please be careful.
No, I think they both did it well, and this takes me back to what I always say: understand who you're going to see. Yes, she could be a sex icon, but she's coming to see the First Lady in very official terms. So her dressing cannot be Madonna on stage with a whip and yes, exactly. So it's a case of understanding why I'm there, and she knew from there they're going to talk about the Beyond Zero, which is a very serious thing. So you have to dress accordingly. So for me, I have no problem with them. I think they both did a fantastic job.
But then, don't you see the First Lady is actually dressed to receive Madonna with animal print and red? That's a lot of fire, you know?
This is actually unlike what we've seen the First Lady
red can also be in a very subtle way. You've seen she's covered it. It could be red with sleeveless. That's something different.
It's red with animal print, Robert.
No, she doesn't look anything outside.
She's not supposed to. She got the interpretation.
But we do know that the First Lady has recently been associated with a certain look, very coordinated, very specific, very deliberate. And Ian, here we see her deliberately dressing in a bolder, I would say slightly sexier manner. We don't see First Lady Margaret Kenyatta dressed this way.
She knew who's coming to see her, and she dressed for that. And Madonna as well was probably told, you're going to meet the First Lady of an African country.
Yes, and she's very conservative.
So you better dress up, you better cover up everything. Probably that's what happened. Yes. So I think they're both okay.
Coco, I want to hear your thoughts.
Be careful.
Go ahead. Jump in.
You know what? I'm going to side with my two gentlemen. I think that it's just an okay look. I think it's a case of trend. Okay, let me put this way. What is in trend doesn't mean always. Like, okay, now let me put it in this way. The fact that something is in trend doesn't mean that probably it works with every single cut or every single look. Floral, you agree with me that it's been there for the past 5 years, gradually building up, whether for the old or the young. Like back in West Africa, back in Europe, people are still rocking floral prints, and they still look very, very dashing. My question then is, well, is this the most appropriate outfit she could have worn, given that maybe she wanted to still be trendy, still meeting the First Lady of Kenya? It's just some question marks, but I'm not faulting her too much.
Okay. So before we get to your brand, Kweku, which is chocolate, we want to look at the Obama family, and as you all know, President Barack Obama has been quiet, and this is what pundits are saying, and particularly because of the campaigns right now with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, of course, taking center stage as the campaigns heat up ahead of the next U.S. elections. And here we see him and his family dressed down, pretty casual. Yeah, let's talk about this look. Bob, what are you thinking?
What I like about this, and I studied a lot last week, and non-verbally it's saying, you know, I'm coming towards the end of my term, so it's not going to be the black suit when, you know, fast family. So they're now trying to assimilate themselves into the normal kind of life. Of course, they really can't do that, but it's just trying to say now, I'm back to my family. This is Obama, not the president, but the husband and the father. And I think they all look nice and trendy and easy.
And tall.
Yes.
Very tall. Very
Okay.
tall, yeah. Yeah.
Well, if we don't have anything else.
Listen, I love the fact that they are themselves. You know, I get that vibe a lot. One interesting thing about fashion is not to look forced. You know, I get that from the family. Anytime I look at Obama dressing up, or Michelle, who's like the #1 women icon right now. She and I think the Duke's wife, Kate.
Kate
Middleton.
They just dress to be themselves. And I'd like to urge anyone who, you know, don't go overboard. Just try and be yourself. You know, and that's exactly what we see here.
Okay, so we want now to shift focus back to East Africa. Diamond Platnumz here with his ripped jeans, and he was performing here, and you know, Diamond recently got a BET nomination. He did not bag that award, and you know, he actually splurges on his wardrobe. This guy really, you know, really spends quite a bit on his clothes, but a lot of people were not too happy, and quote unquote some Tanzanians were quoted on his IG page saying "Huyu ni kichaa," meaning this is like a madman. You know, what the hell is that he's wearing? It's the same thing as seeing a madman in the middle of the streets. This is supposed to be fashionable, the ripped jeans that we talk about, and how ripped jeans ideally should be worn. So this is this guy's thigh all out, Caro. And I know for the younger generation, they are feeling this look. But let's talk about the fact that he has the red Marvin on, the red Timbs, and all that rip going on his skinny jeans. What do you think?
I've seen Diamond look better, I have to say that. But then again, this is a performance look. When artists are on stage, they're allowed to do crazy things, you know. We've seen Madonna, Lady Gaga, all these artists when they're on stage, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a different personality, it's a different look. It's not supposed to be something you can wear to walk on the streets of Nairobi. I think sometimes people forget that part and they just make this look. They think, how can I go to church wearing this? How do I meet my parents? No, this is just him performing. Once he leaves the stage, I would hope that I would not meet him wearing that.
Okay, so
Yes.
Judge Ian, because Judge Ian has done Tasker Project fame year after year, performing arts, and the fact that this is a performing look. Do you think that this steals the thunder away from his stage presence?
Yes. He wanted to make an impact,
Okay.
but in the wrong way. Yes, it does draw away from his artistic self.
Are you being serious right now?
I am being very serious, because you spend far too much time wondering what the heck is he wearing, and by the time you finish, the song is over. And you
Okay, just very quickly before we go to chocolate, a one-liner and a one-liner.
Okay.
He's truly the chairman of the Kicha Club. You cannot come out dressed like that. I love Diamond, and I've always said good things about him, but coming out like this is atrocious.
Kweku.
I think we need to look at his brand. For me, a lot has to be said about what the brand Diamond Platnumz is, and then who he's trying to target, and then who he's actually speaking to. For me, I've always loved him. Prior to me even coming here, I really, really love him. My question here is, yes, he's made a statement, but does it really tie in with his brand? That's another question.
Yes, particularly because last week we were looking at Diamond and he was all dolled up in nice,
I mean, he does a
little
lot of
clean cuts.
R&B,
Yeah.
you know, very women, you know, sort of
And you're
appeal.
dancing.
My question is, Carl, are you drawn?
Carl would be
He's
yes.
too young for me.
Young or old, what do you think? That look on Diamond, is it working for you? Please use the hashtag FashionWatch. Well, our guest panelist, Kweku Bediako, of the brand Chocolate. It's a Ghanaian fashion brand that draws inspiration, like I earlier said, from the rich Ghanaian lifestyle, taste and preferences. He does custom-made men's. He'll be telling us a little bit more about what he does. He does shoes, sandals, suits, blazers. Let's take a look at some of his designs before we talk to the man himself. Kweku Bediako with us in studio this evening. Thank you very much for joining the Fashion Watch panel. Before I introduce or invite the rest of the panel to forward their questions to you, tell us a little bit about yourself. Reading you up, I know that you started as a one-man show, but you can now handle thousands of orders a month. So tell us a little bit about where you draw your inspiration and what chocolate is all about.
Okay, then. So pretty much the name chocolate is an identity we want to give Africans. I think you mentioned earlier that we draw a lot of inspiration from different African countries that we visited. I was originally born and bred in Port Harcourt in Nigeria, but I live now in Accra, Ghana, and I do travel a lot. And there's one thing that seems to bind us, or one thing that seems to get us all as Africans together, which is culture. And that's what we are trying to sort of portray with most of the clothing we do. In Western Africa and some parts of other African countries, there's a growing demand, growing love for what we call kaftans. What we are trying to do is to make it very contemporary, very African, yes, but very trendy, so that we can feel comfortable to put on our African-made stuff to our red carpet events and any other events which deem it necessary for us to wear. Yeah, so pretty much that is.
Are you wearing one of your designs?
Yes, this is one of our fine pieces made from damask, as a very top-notch fabric, and the stitches are glowing threads. So when your lights are off, it's going to glow.
Wow. Is it? I want to throw that in. Okay, so I'll invite the panel to, and I understand you dress lots of celebrities as well, so what price range are we looking at? If somebody was to look you up on Instagram or Facebook, only at thousands of dollars, a couple of hundreds of dollars.
I must emphasize, I mean, hey, we are partnering with a shop called Yake Yake, which is a boutique franchise, basically, that is going to be spread across nationwide, and it's a joy. It's a joy to know that there's mad demand. There's that edge people are looking for, especially the men are looking for. So in terms of pricing, it's quite sensitive. It's quite a sensitive subject. For me, it's more of like the look. We are selling the look.
Yeah, and you know, you talked, Bob, as you forward your question, you talked about finishing, and notice how good his finishing is. And I think these are some of the things that Carol also points out in several of our conversations here on the Fashion Watch, that the finish is so important. So let's hear from you, Bob. Forward your question.
Yes, as you said, you're in Yake Yake?
Yake Yake, yes.
And Kenyans are very safe.
Yes.
And you want to bring your stuff here.
Definitely.
What are you going to do to convince Kenyans to rock this outfit?
So I've been in Kenya in 3 days. Prior to Kenya, I visited a couple of East African countries, and I think you are right. Most Kenyans are conservative, but you know, there's nothing like looking conservative, but in a stylish, trendy way. You know, I think what we are saying is we are not coming to change the looks of how Kenyan men, or come and dictate what Kenyan men should wear. But all we are saying is, you know, we want Kenyan men to be the African men they are, to feel free and then crave for trendy African-made stuff. And especially just to chip us in. Yeah. It's not just about the clothing for us. It's about the story. It's about that African story. As I said, we did start off with the name chocolate. Why? Because we wanted to portray Africa in a more appealing way. And in some few years, you know, we are breaking that glass ceiling. So we want Kenyans in general, we want Africans in general to see chocolate as a beacon of hope, that story that, you know, they hear and then they actually know that, oh, it can't be done. Right. You know?
And it's automatically, when you say Kenyan men are a bit more conservative, the question that comes into mind is why? What's up with the West African brothers and no socks? But you'll tell us that later. Carol, please forward your question.
Well, I have a couple of questions actually. One is, when you Google your brand, are you happy with what you find?
So you see, well, happy is relative. I'm happy with the strides that we've made. Definitely there's way more room for improvement. We used to have a wet page called Chocolate Clothes GH, but for me, I felt it was a bit limiting. So now we are going more international. We have mychocolatecloset.com, which is more international, which is going to be out, I'm sure, by the end of this month. We are quite huge on Instagram, on Facebook, but definitely, I mean, there's way more room for improvement. There's way more room for improvement. For me, it's more of the strides, you know, what we've been able to achieve in such short time. You know, how are we as Africans going to leverage on that?
Okay, we're pressed for time, so as we move this along, please, Carol, another quick question before we move to...
You talked about the story of your brand.
Definitely.
For most people now, they believe Africa is the next frontier. It's a luxury brand. So do you think that as a luxury brand, this is what you do bespoke? And for the US, for the Western market, the kind of quality of what you do and how you do it, they consider it luxury. Is that a viable business model for the African market?
Okay, so, I mean, we've got two different models. We've got Chocolate by Kweku Bediakon, which is the bespoke, and then we've got Chocolate Urban, which is the retail.
Okay.
So with that, I mean, you know, there's going to be a lot of retailable items which can just be picked off the shelf, which we've already started. I mean, in most parts of the US, Maryland, Virginia, Texas, in the UK, there are lots of retailable items.
Right. What fabrics do you work with?
Well, you know, for us, we need to really consider the kind of weather that we're in. What I noticed with Kenya and most of the East African countries is usually much colder than most of the West African countries. So we realize that we tend to use a lot of light cotton or linen fabrics. Now, what we did, a few samples we brought to the country, was slightly thicker cottons, wool cottons, damask fabrics, which are usually quite warm, but still very comfortable. So even in the heat, you can still wear it comfortably. And then the mistake that I did even was to come with about different short sleeves model, because the whole idea was to sort of style up, you know, the whole short sleeve aspect of formal wears, only to be shot in the foot. But I mean, thankfully, you know, thankful to these mufflers and you know, these mufflers and other jackets that people can throw on. These are all different accessories people can actually add to the look and make them theirs.
We're talking to Kweku of Chocolate, and before we get his, where you can find him, his IG and Twitter and what have you, let's take a look at your tweet. Anthony, you're saying, wow, that lady in red killed it, but they are both amazing. There's nothing wrong with carrying big bags. Okay. Elegant dressing should not involve revealing attire. Long slits are unfashionable.
Oh boy.
Kenny, you're saying, I tell you that tie on the guy in a black suit is the greatest thing. We need to encourage creativity. Good one. Chris, you're saying the first lady never disappoints in terms of fashion. You got to match up, especially with Fashion Watch on your case. Diamond's dressing is horrible. I think the jeans are overripped. Terry, you're saying Madonna got the memo. She was visiting the first lady, so she was okay. And our first lady was as lovely as ever.
Okay.
Okay, so Kweku, as we wind up, please tell Kenyans where they can find you. You talked about being huge on IG, and by the way, he was recently featured on CNN. Was it African Voices?
African Watch.
African.
Oh, sorry, African. Sorry, I got confused. African Startups.
African Startups,
okay,
yes.
Yeah.
And congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you, and I thank the whole of Africa for that.
Okay, so tell us where we can find you. IG. Where else can people find you? Do you have a website? Definitely.
So as I said, by end of the month, we are definitely getting into mychocolatecloset.com. But in Kenya, we are going to be, we are in partnership with Yaka Yaka, where currently they are in the Village Market Mall. They are at Mama Shanti restaurant, and then at Valley Arcade. Valley Arcade, yeah. So, but there are a lot more of these franchises that are coming up, and we'll be stocking in all their shops across Kenya. But currently on IG we are Chocolate Clothes GH. Chocolate Clothes GH. Definitely, yeah. So I love listen, I want to urge everyone to go on there and keep your fingers crossed.
You don't do women?
I mean,
you only do custom made.
So women should keep their fingers crossed. There's a whole new wave coming.
So yeah, as we wind up, what's up with the West?
What's up
with the West African brothers and no socks?
So you see, it's a trend. I mean, we love tapered cuts a lot. Okay. So you realize that, you remember I made mention of the fact that once it's a tapered cut, it normally should sit on your ankle. And also you have the abused, you know, trend of it coming either a little bit above the ankle or just on your ankle. And we love rocking them with loafers. I think with loafers, it re-emphasizes the cuts. So, and as you do know, it's more appropriate to wear loafers with no socks than to wear it with socks.
Okay, but the shoes better be leather though, because, yeah. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for
And
having
of
me.
course, we wish you the very best. That's all the time we had on Fashion Watch tonight. Annabelle Onyango could not join us tonight, but of course she will be back with the Fashion Watch panel shortly. Thanks for watching. Use the hashtag Fashion Watch. We'll do this again next week. Good night.